Welcome to Machines Best HT. Have you ever wondered what happens when colossal machines and oversized loads face off against the harshest roads, the most extreme weather, and the ticking clock? In the world of heavy haulage, every mile is a battle. Every corner is a life-or-death challenge, and sometimes moments of sheer danger lead to hilarious, unexpected outcomes. Get ready to dive into some heart-stopping adventures where one small mistake can turn everything upside down. If you're a fan of intense situations, jaw-dropping accidents, and surprisingly funny moments, you're in the right place. But first, don't forget to hit subscribe to Machines Best HT, where we bring you the most thrilling, adrenaline-pumping, and entertaining moments from the world of heavy haulage. Let's jump right into the action. When most people think of the transport industry, they imagine large trucks moving cargo from one location to another. But the heavy haulage industry, that's a whole different beast. Moving enormous loads, sometimes weighing hundreds of tons, is a high-stakes game where the slightest error can lead to disastrous consequences. Trust me, as someone who's been on the front lines, documenting these journeys firsthand, I can tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. Picture a convoy of trucks, each carrying a load so massive it could crush anything in its path. These aren't your everyday delivery trucks. These are the juggernauts of the transport world, tasked with moving everything from wind turbine blades stretching over 100 feet long to giant cranes that tower over buildings. Imagine these mammoth machines navigating narrow roads, steep mountain passes, or worse, muddy paths that seem more suited to an off-road adventure than a transportation route. One small slip of a wheel, one moment of distraction, and the results could be catastrophic. I once followed a convoy transporting an enormous piece of machinery over a remote mountain pass. The road was winding, barely wide enough for the truck to pass through. At one point, the truck began to struggle on an incline, the wheels spinning desperately for traction. Everyone held their breath as the massive load teetered dangerously close to the edge of a steep drop-off. It felt like we were seconds away from witnessing a disaster. But that's just another day in the life of a heavy haulage driver. One of the most underappreciated pressures in the heavy haulage industry is the tight deadlines. These oversized loads aren't just heavy, they're valuable. And time is always of the essence. The longer a journey takes, the more expensive it becomes. And in an industry where time is money, delays can be devastating. So what happens when the pressure of time meets the unpredictable dangers of the road? Chaos. One of the most intense situations I've ever witnessed involved a convoy trying to transport a massive industrial generator through a series of narrow, twisting roads. The clock was ticking, and the team was running behind schedule. But pushing the drivers to go faster on such treacherous terrain was a recipe for disaster. Sure enough, as the truck approached a sharp bend in the road, the load shifted slightly, throwing the vehicle off balance. For a terrifying moment, it looked like the entire truck was going to tip over, sending the generator crashing down into the valley below. Miraculously, the driver managed to regain control. but it was a close call that left everyone's heart racing. It's moments like these that remind you how dangerous this industry really is. Accidents in the heavy haulage industry aren't just fender benders. We're talking about trucks weighing upwards of 100 tons, loaded with cargo that's often worth millions of dollars. When something goes wrong, it's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a full-scale disaster. I've seen trucks get stuck in mud so thick, it took an entire team of workers and a secondary truck just to pull them out. I've watched in horror as a convoy's lead vehicle lost control on a steep downhill slope, its massive load pushing it faster and faster until the brakes failed entirely. The truck skidded off the road and into a ditch, the driver barely escaping before the entire rig flipped over. But the scariest accidents are the ones you don't see coming. During one particularly harrowing journey, I was with a team transporting a gigantic crane across a series of old, unstable bridges. As the crane approached one of the more precarious crossings, the entire structure began to creak and sway under the weight of the truck. From where I stood, I could see the bridge shifting with every inch the truck moved forward. It was like something out of an action movie. We all held our breath, hoping the bridge would hold, and somehow, against all odds, it did. But it's a moment I'll never forget. A reminder that in this industry, danger is always just around the corner. As if navigating treacherous roads and handling oversized loads wasn't enough, heavy haulage drivers also have to contend with the unpredictable forces of nature. From torrential rainstorms to blistering heat, the elements can make an already dangerous journey downright life-threatening. I once witnessed a convoy trying to make its way through a mountain pass during a sudden downpour. The road, which had already been slick with mud, turned into a veritable river of water and debris. The trucks struggled to maintain traction, their tires spinning helplessly as the drivers tried to keep their massive loads from sliding off the road. At one point, the lead truck became completely stuck in the mud, unable to move forward or backward. It took hours of hard work and the help of a bulldozer just to get the convoy moving again. Then there's the heat. In one memorable journey, I traveled with a convoy through a scorching desert where temperatures soared to over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. The heat was so intense that the trucks had to stop repeatedly to cool down, and the drivers had to take frequent breaks to avoid heat exhaustion. It was a brutal, exhausting journey that pushed both man and machine to their limits. Despite the constant danger, the heavy haulage industry isn't without its lighter moments. In fact, some of the funniest things I've ever seen have happened in the middle of the most intense situations. One time, a massive truck had to stop dead in its tracks because a flock of ducks decided to cross the road. Watching this enormous multi-ton vehicle wait patiently for a group of tiny ducks to waddle across the street was hilarious, especially considering the high stakes of the journey. Then, there was the time when a giant crane couldn't pass under a bridge because it was too tall. The crew spent hours trying to figure out how to lower the machine, only to realize they needed to backtrack and find an entirely new route. It was frustrating at the time, but looking back, it's one of those stories that makes you laugh. These moments of humor are what keep the job from becoming overwhelming. In an industry where the stakes are so high, sometimes you just have to laugh at the absurdity of it all. What amazes me most about the heavy haulage industry isn't just the machines, it's the people who operate them. The drivers in this industry aren't just skilled professionals. They're unsung heroes who face unimaginable challenges every day. These drivers are responsible for navigating some of the most dangerous roads in the world, often while carrying loads that would crush a lesser vehicle. And they do it with a level of precision and patience that's nothing short of remarkable. I've watched drivers maneuver their trucks through narrow mountain passes with millimeter-level accuracy. I've seen them handle vehicles weighing hundreds of tons with the same finesse you'd expect from someone parallel parking a car. And I've witnessed them remain calm under pressure, even when faced with life or death situations. It's a job that requires nerves of steel, endless patience, and a deep understanding of the machines they operate. And yet, despite the risks, these drivers show up every day, ready to take on whatever challenges come their way. The heavy haulage industry is not for the faint of heart. It's a world where every journey is fraught with danger, where every mile traveled is a victory against the odds. But it's also a world filled with moments of triumph, humor, and sheer awe at the capabilities of both man and machine. If you've enjoyed this glimpse into the world of heavy haulage, don't forget to subscribe to Machines Best HT. We bring you the most thrilling, edge-of-your-seat footage from the front lines of the heavy haulage industry, along with plenty of moments that will leave you laughing out loud. So, are you ready for the next journey? Bigger challenges, heart-stopping accidents, and plenty of unexpected surprises await. Hit subscribe now and join us as we continue to explore the incredible, dangerous, and often hilarious world of heavy haulage.